welcome back to our channel. So this video is particularly exciting.
I can't even talk because I'm so excited.
But me and Jahan officially decided to change our YouTube as well as our Instagram name, and we changed it to KartìerBeauty. We were talking about it and we both felt like the JW Beauty 360 was just way too long. Even me saying it right now, it was just too much to say, and it was not. We wanted something short and simple and something that describes both of us. So KartìerBeauty, the reason why we came up with that was because we were both playing around with the letters within our last names, and we came up with Carter. So I was like, Carter doesn't sound that, you know, elegant, so how about Cartier? It's spelled with a K. And I'm absolutely in love with the intro that we came up with. It's simple and it's sexy and it's very sophisticated at the same time, which is basically the vibe that both Jahan and I are. If you guys have any additional questions as to why we changed our name or anything like that, just comment down below and we will definitely answer them for you. But moving on, in this video, I am going to be reviewing all of the new Wet n Wild as well as the e.l.f. new things that just came out. And I do a very in-depth review of the Modern Renaissance palette as well as the Wet n Wild Rosè in the Air palette, and tell you whether or not I think it's a dupe. So definitely keep watching and see what I think about these. Hello everyone, so obviously this video is going to be a drugstore haul. I picked up a lot of Wet n Wild and new e.l.f. stuff, so I'm going to be trying everything on with you guys. So the first thing that I'm going to go on and use is this e.l.f. Beautifully Bare Natural Glow Lotion. This does have a small tint to it. It has like a gold tint. They do have one that's like a brightening one, and it has more of a pinky tint to it. I don't know if you guys can see this on camera, but again, it's more like a glow lotion. I have tried most of these products out that I'm going to be using today in the video, so I'm just going to let you guys know that. So I kind of do have already my opinions of some of these things and what works and what doesn't. So what I'm kind of seeing is that it does sink into my skin really well and really quickly, so that's going to be really nice for makeup application. You don't have to wait very long, but I see like a little bit of a glow. I just feel like by the time I put on all of my foundations and concealer and powders and all of that, you're not even going to see any type of glow. So I personally would pass on this. Now moving on to the new e.l.f. Dewy Setting Mist. This is in coconut. I love the packaging of this. It kind of reminds me of like the KKW Beauty on the side here. It says Beautifully Bare. Love this, and this is what the setting spray looks like. It's really pretty. I'm just gonna spray this all over my face. I will say that the spray on this bottle is a little aggressive and it smells really nice. It definitely smells like coconut. For primer, I don't have anything new, but this is new to me because I've never tried it. This is the Makeup Forever Base Hydrating Primer. This is their like step 1 skin equalizer skin line. So I'm just going to take a little bit of this. Now for foundation, I'm going in with my Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation. I am in the color Spiced Tan. For concealer, nothing new here. I'm going in with my Tarte Shape Tape in the color Tan Sand. I'm going to really quickly set that using my Mercie translucent powder. To set the rest of my face, I'm going in with my Maybelline Better Skin in the color Coconut with a big fluffy brush, and just really lightly just tapping this all over my face. Now, Wet n Wild came out with a lot of new brushes, but the one that I bought was this one right here. Obviously, I did use it. I just put it back in the packaging for the sake of the video. But this is their Pearl Brush Line Precision Setting Brush. I really like this brush. I'm just going to say that right off the bat. It works beautifully with bronzer, and that's what I personally like to use it for. So I'm going to go in with my Hulla Benefit Bronzer. Because of the tip that's on it, it just like applies the bronzer exactly where you want it. Not only bronzer, but also contour. So it's like a 2-in-1 brush in my opinion. I'm going to use the same brush but go into my Bahama Llama bronzer. You guys know I like to use it specifically to contour, and I'm only applying the product on the tips of the brush and just going to put it right at the base here. You see how that just applies the product right where you want it? I mean, I need to blend that out obviously, but it's just the precision of this brush I really like. Now for blush, this is not anything new, but it's new to me. This is the Wet n Wild Color Iconic Blush in the color Mellow Wine. I really do like this blush. I will say, just use a really light hand with this and tap off a lot of the excess. I'm just going to apply this on my cheeks. Now for the one thing I'm the most excited about is the Amrezy highlighter with AmrezyxABH Highlighter. It is absolutely stunning. What I'm going to do, I personally like to wet my brushes when I'm applying any of my highlighters, but for this specific video what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply it dry so you guys can kind of see what the highlighter in itself actually looks like. I mean, this is not me wetting my brush. It's honestly stunning. And don't get me wrong, I love highlight. You know, there are definitely some that I personally would pass on just because I have a million that looks exactly like this in regards to the color. But in regards to the formula, it's not like any other formula that I personally have tried. It's not powdery, but it's not liquid, it's not cream either. It's more of like a gel consistency. Just saying that the highlighter is buttery and smooth is not sufficient enough. It almost feels like soap. What I am trying to say essentially is this is a highlighter that you should not pass up. Now obviously I did do the other eye off camera, and for the eye looks I used these two new palettes from Wet n Wild. These are the new Nouveau palettes. Now what I really like about these palettes is that they label what each color, what each shadow is supposed to be, especially this little quad. So for example, they label what your transition shades are going to be, what your brow bone is going to be, and what your eyelid color should be. Now for this palette, what I really want to do and talk about is that this palette looks exactly like this palette, which is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance palette. Now what I'm actually doing is I'm going to show you swatches of the Modern Renaissance palette and the Wet n Wild palette. So starting here on your left is going to be the ABH palette, and on the other side is going to be Wet n Wild. So moving on here, you have Raw Sienna, and then over here you have the Wet n Wild. They do look very similar, but I will say that the Wet n Wild shadow, the transition shade, is definitely darker than the ABH. Moving on here, you have Warm Taupe from ABH, and then the Wet n Wild on the other side, which quite honestly look exactly the same. Then moving on, you have Buen Fresco from ABH, and then the Wet n Wild. They look exactly the same. And then the next color you have Real Gar. This is the one that looks the most different in my opinion. So again, this is Real Gar from ABH, and then this is the Wet n Wild. Real Gar is obviously definitely darker, and then the Wet n Wild is much more orangey, I would say. And then over here you have Red Ochre from ABH, and then this is the Wet n Wild. Red Ochre is definitely darker than Wet n Wild. Then moving on to the main color that a lot of people were saying look exactly alike, and they are absolutely right. This is Love Letter from ABH, and then Wet n Wild. They look exactly the same. Primavera has much more pinky rose gold undertones, and the Wet n Wild palette, it's much more of a straight up gold shadow. So finally moving on to the eyes, I'm going into the Rosè in the Air palette, the one that looks exactly like ABH Modern Renaissance, and I'm going to be picking up this transition shade right here. You can tell it picks up a lot of product, and it is, I'm not gonna lie, there is a little bit of kick up with this one, but I personally don't mind that. The pigmentation on this just doesn't lie. I'm now picking up a smaller, fluffier brush, and I'm going into this color right here, and I'm gonna place this right below that shadow directly into the crease. I'm going into the little quad. This is the Patalette palette. I'm going to be taking this shadow, which is labeled as the crease shadow. And I'm placing this shadow only on the outer V. Now for the lid color, I'm going into this shadow right here, which is labeled Eyelid Color. And what I am going to do is spray my brush with my setting spray. Now for my brow bone and inner corner highlight, I'm going into the one that they labels that. Now for eyeliner, I'm going in with my Epic Ink Eyeliner from NYX. I love this stuff, and I love it more than the Kat Von D Tattoo Liner, and that alone is saying a lot. Really quickly, I'm going to apply some black liner in my waterline. This is the Lottie London AM to PM Khol liner. Moving on to my lower lash line, I'm taking that dark purple shadow. Someone like you, I want you to know me, blend that out. I'm going back into that transition shade that we used. We can be Now that lashes are on, moving on to lips, I did purchase a couple of lip products from both e.l.f. and Wet n Wild. I'm going to first line my lips with my favorite formula of lip liners now, and this is the Wet n Wild Gel Lip Liner. I do have another shade in this, but this one that I got is in the shade Gone Burgundy. I'm going to swatch it right here for you guys. You see how like creamy and smooth that is? You guys see how creamy and smooth that was, and it didn't like tug on my lips or anything like that. And these are only $1, so you know, you can't go wrong with that. And what I'm going to do actually with this lip liner is I'm going to fill in these sides of my lips. Now for the other 3 lip products that I use, I'm going to swatch all of these so you guys can kind of see that this new color that Wet n Wild came out with. This is their Mega Liquid Catsuit. I absolutely love this formula, and this is in the color Behind the Bleachers. I'm going to swatch it right next to the lip liner so you guys can see. Now for the lipstick, this is again a new shade that they came out with. This is in the shade Secret Muse. I absolutely love these lipsticks. Again, you can see it's just a pretty mauvey, purple, pinkish nude. Now the one thing I got from e.l.f. was the Alyssa Ashley Nude Rose Lip Gloss in collaboration with e.l.f. I saw Jackie Aina use this in one of her videos, and I absolutely fell in love with it. And you guys know I love glosses. Again, this is the gloss up here. It's exactly what she named it. It's a nude rosy gloss. It's perfect for deeper skin tone. But for my lips today, what I'm going to be using is the lipstick in the color Secret Muse, and I'm going to be doing a ombre effect. So I'm just going to place this right in the center of my lip. And then one last time, I'm going in with my e.l.f. setting spray, and I'm just going to set everything. So what I'm going to do really quickly is recap on everything that I use, tell you what I think you should buy, what you shouldn't buy. And the first thing obviously is the Natural Glow Lotion. I think you guys should pass on this. It didn't really make a difference in making my foundation, making my base look any more glowy. But it's only about like $3 or $4. So if you want to buy it and you want to try it, definitely you totally can. Secondly, we have the e.l.f. Dewy Setting Mist in Coconut. This is definitely an A++ in my book. Definitely pick this one up if you guys like the scent of coconut. Then we're going to move on to blush, which is from Wet n Wild. This is in the shade Mellow Wine. If you guys see a color that you absolutely love in this particular line, definitely pick them up. They are pigmented and they are very, very cheap. So definitely go in and try those. And then of course the Amrezy Highlight. It's an A++ in my book. Definitely go and pick this up. Do not sleep on this. If I were to tell you to pick up anything out of all the stuff that I use, it is definitely this highlighter. And we're going to move on to the Wet n Wild Pro Brush line. This is their precision setting brush. It's beautiful to contour and bronze with. If you are looking for a new brush to get precision but also to blend it out and still have movement in the bristles, this is definitely something you might want to pick up. Now moving on to eyeshadows, I'm not going to spend too long talking about this. I already talked enough about them, but I will say that if you see any color scheme that you personally like in any of these 2 palettes, definitely go pick them up. You are not wasting your money. And finally, lips. Everything that I bought for lips I absolutely love. The Alyssa Ashley gloss from e.l.f. Yeah, the swatch of it is right here. It is not clumpy. It doesn't feel gloopy. If you keep layering it, it's nice and thin, but the pigment is definitely still there. The gel liner, A++. I have other shades. It's definitely something that you should go and purchase. And then you have the liquid catsuit in the color Behind the Bleachers, which is this one right here. Absolutely stunning. It dries really quickly and doesn't make your lips feel like a desert sand. And then lastly, we have the Wet n Wild lipstick in the color Sweet Muse, which is what I have in the center of my lips. It's absolutely beautiful. It glides on really nicely and smooth. So definitely, if you are interested, it's a beautiful color. So yeah, this is the end of the look, guys. I hope you guys will like the video. If you do, give the video a thumbs up, comment down below, and also please do subscribe if you haven't already.